Hello, plenty good peoples. I hope you're having a blessed day. Pastor Keith here, just to bring you a short thought for the day, a short message for today. In the book of John, in the 8th chapter, Jesus is telling his disciples, or more accurately, telling the Jews, that the truth will set them free. Well, we're in a society at the moment that I think really struggles to differentiate between truth and fantasy. It's not unknown for actors in soap operas to get letters written to their characters warning them of things that are happening in the show that they apparently don't know about. Sometimes I think in this world, if you're a child growing up in this world, it must be difficult to differentiate between what is real and what is fantasy. But Jesus' words are truth. The truth will set us free. I don't know about you, but when I was a child, we had three schools. We had a primary school, a middle school, and then you finish in school. We didn't have a nursery school at all. I didn't have any nursery teaching. I went into school, I think, when I was 4. And then went right through the system. Well, when I left my first school, my primary school, to go into the second school, the middle school, I was absolutely amazed that they put me in the top stream of the second school. I was one of only 3 members of my previous school who were advised to go into the top stream. And it was very odd to have all these boffins and really intelligent people, the intelligentsia of Swansea there, and me. And it was great. It felt fantastic, but none of my friends were in the group, and I really missed them. None of my friends were in the top tier that I was in. And it happened because my previous school had recommended that they put me in the top tier. And it was as much a surprise to me as perhaps it was to my friends. So there I was in the top tier of Harvard School. And I was really, really struggling with the work. It was well above the level that I'd anticipated. And after about 6 weeks, I started having headaches and missing classes. I missed my friends who were all in the lower classes. And I think that the lessons were just too hard for me. And I was a bit embarrassed because I felt if I was struggling and had to be taken into another class, a lower class, that in some way I was letting down my previous teachers who'd recommended me in the higher stream. Also, my family, I felt it would be a bit embarrassing. And so with that weight of all that on me, I started missing school and developing these headaches. And one day the headmistress, Mrs. James, who was a born-again Christian, it transpires, I didn't know that at the time, called me into her office and she said, "What's going on? Why are you having headaches and missing school?" I said, "Well, I can't do the work that you're asking me to do in the top level, miss. I'm struggling with it and I'm really embarrassed. I'm trying my best, but I'm just not good enough to be in that top stream." And she just said to me, she said, "Keith, there's no point in having headaches and missing school. Let me just put you into the next lowest class," which was a class above the middle class and just below the top class. And it was very difficult for me and to have to do that, even though nearly all my friends were in the middle class. But it was truth. She spoke truth to me and she spoke honest. She said, "I think it's best for you if you go into the second class," which is what I did. And it was, as I say, it was a bit hard for me, a bit embarrassing. I felt I'd let my previous school and maybe my parents down. But she spoke truth to me. She spoke it in an environment of love and kindness and concern for me. And I certainly did enjoy being in the next level, which was definitely my level, with all my friends were there. And perhaps I did even less work then because all my mates were in that class. So I'm really grateful that Mrs. James said the truth to me. And the truth really did set me free in that instance. And I wonder whether it was her integrity and her example which prompted me many, many years ago. I'd graduated from Bible college, I'd gotten a degree, and I was really happy with that. And then I decided to take a postgraduate degree. And I really really struggled with it. I was simply not in the level to do a postgrad degree, and I tried everything. My marks were okay, but they weren't gradually getting better. In fact, they were gradually getting worse. And in a sense, I didn't really know what the lecturers wanted. And every time I tried to do a little bit more and tried to work a little bit harder and tried to try and think as the marker would think, the lower my marks got. And after a year, my marks were around about 45 out of 100, which is practically not really worth it at all. And I had to have a hard look at myself in the mirror, and I had to give myself some tough love and just say, Keith, the truth will set you free. You really are not good enough for this level. You just haven't got what it takes. And it's pointless getting low, and it's pointless getting fed up, and it's pointless looking at yourself and being annoyed with yourself, especially as your wife was on this level and doing really well, that I had that strength, the example that Mrs. James had set me in saying, look, this is the truth. You're just not good enough for that level. So I stopped after a year. I took the marks that I had after that year, picked up a post-grad certificate, and that'll do me. I won't be going into any sort of higher post-grad education again, especially in Bible college, because I just proved to myself that I just really wasn't good enough, and that's okay for me. So remember, whatever you're going through, always be truthful, always be honest. Tough love is one of the great things around these days. Tough love that we learn from other people, and sometimes we have to be tough with ourselves as well. The truth will set you free. Have a great day. God bless you.